Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you. So today we're going to be covering our combo guide for the DDD deck. And I think for a lot of people who are interested in this deck, this is a combo guide that they might have been clamoring for. So yeah, this deck is definitely more infamous for how difficult it can be to pick up. And when I first started playing this deck, I wondered if it was going to be like Dragon Link. I'd seen it compared to Dragon Link in a lot of regards. This deck has a lot of extensive combo lines, and it can be very difficult to master, but very rewarding to play. I actually found that this deck, in my opinion, was I don't know about a lot, but it was definitely easier to learn than Dragon Link. It's not as freeform as Dragon Link is, and I think that for that reason, this deck is not quite as bad to learn. There are definitely solid combo lines you can follow in order to make specific end boards with this deck. Dragon Link, again, is a lot more freeform. Like I said, it's more about like seeing what you can make with what you've got in hand. There is an element of that to DDDs, but really those are more like minor variations of these kind of core combo lines. So I wanted to show off some of these core combo lines here in this video so that you could also have a nice established idea of what this deck is capable of, what it can do, what you can expect to do with like a typical 1 or 2 card opening combo there. Maybe even some 3 card combos too. We'll see how much time I have, how easy it is for me to open with those. Sometimes you can sit here and throw back hands for a while before you get a 3 card combo, but this deck is capable of unique 3 card combos as well. A lot of the time with your first turn, though, with like a simple 1 or 2 card combo, what you're going to be ending on is going to be DDD Deviser King Deus Machinex plus DDD Wave King or High King Caesar. This is going to offer a nice little suite of disruptions here that are pretty atypical from other disruptions that other decks are capable of putting out. Machinex, for example, does not negate any effects. However, if a monster on the field activates its effect, you can once per chain, not once per turn, once per chain, you can either detach 2 materials or destroy 1 dark contract you control, and then actually attach that opponent's card to Machinex as a material. So it is not difficult at all to do this multiple times per turn. Typically, you'll stack this on top of like a Gilgamesh or something, so it'll only start with 1 material. But if you have a Dark Contract card on the board, then you can just pop that, eat your opponent's monster as a material. And now this card has 2 materials, so you can eat another opponent's monster later in the turn. Very, very nice. Even if, again, we're not negating cards, we're still just completely stealing them altogether. And not even like destroying them or putting them back in the extra deck or in the graveyard. We're attaching them to Machinex as a material, making them generally inaccessible to the opponent there. As far as the other card we like to end on a lot, which is Wave High King Caesar, this card has the ability to negate spell trap cards or monster effects that include effects that special summon a monster, which is quite a few combo pieces in quite a few different decks there. This effect is also not once per turn at all. It's not even a soft once per turn. You can just use this effect by detaching a material. So you'll get to use this effect twice during your opponent's turn. It also comes with a minor attack buff that never really comes up, but you know, better have it, not need it, I suppose. Also, you can add Dark Contract cards when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, which again will not come up too often at all. So, alright, so yeah, this is the build that we're going to do it with. It's the same build that we used in the deck profile. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. The deck profile we did for this build here really recently. Still, like I said, the same build here. So I'm going to break it down card by card so you know what all we're working with for these combos, and then I'll go ahead and show you some DD combos. So we are playing 1 DD Necro Slime, 1 DD Lamia, 3 Maxx, 3 DD Swirl Slime, 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 DD Vice Typhon, 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being, 3 DD Savant Kepler, 1 DD Cerberus, 3 DD Savant Copernicus, 2 DD Orthos, 3 DD Gryphon, 1 DD Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok, 1 DD Savant Thomas, 1 Go DDD Divine King Rage. I always want to say Reggie because this is Reggie, but no, they translate it to Rage for whatever reason. Anyway, we were playing 1 for 1. We were playing 1 Dark Contract with the Patent License, 3 Dark Contract with the Gate, 1 Dark Contract with the Swamp, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designator, 2 Infinite Impermanence, and then 1 DD Headhunt. Extra deck will have 2 DD Flame King Genghis, 1 DD Flame King High Genghis, 1 DDD Cursed King Siegfried, 1 Baronne de Fleur, 1 DDD Wave King Caesar, 1 DDD Marksman, 1 DDD Wave High King Caesar, 1 DDD Duo Dawn King Kali Yuga, 1 Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder, 2 DDD Deviser King Deus Machinex, and then finally 3 DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. Alright, so now that we've established the list, let's take a look at those combos. Alright, so our first hand here, we did open up with a DD Savant Kepler, which is our first one-card combo. So, yep, it is possible rather, to make an entire board with just this one DD Savant Kepler. As always, we will ignore all the other cards in our hand. We could actually make further plays with this Gryphon here, because we opened that, but again, let's assume that this Gryphon is like a Nibiru, or just another card that's, not a combo piece. So, we're going to start by normal summoning the Kepler here and activating its effect to add a Dark Contract from our deck to our hand. We are going to want to add a Dark Contract with the Gate, which we will then proceed to activate. We're going to use this to add a DD Gryphon from our deck to our hand. Of course, we again already opened the DD Gryphon here, but let's, again, for the sake of the combo and the video, assume that we did not open it and just go ahead and search one here. So we'll activate the effect of DD Gryphon in order to special summon it to our field. Now we're going to go ahead and special summon our DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. A lot of the combos are going to start by summoning Gilgamesh, but what scale you actually set with Gilgamesh definitely varies on which combo you're doing. So for this combo in particular, I need to set a scale that will enable me to not only summon Kepler, but turn it into a level 4 monster, because I want to go into a Caesar. So what I'm going to do is, of course, activate the Gilgamesh effect, and we actually have a scale in our deck for exactly this scenario. You'll find a lot of the one-offs in this deck are exactly for like specific situations in order to set up specific scales. So in this situation, I'm going to set Divine King Rage, and where is it? The Cerberus is my scales. So because I have 0 and 6, I'm able to pendulum summon 1 through 5. So I can summon both the Gryphon and the Kepler because I have 2 open zones of the Gilgamesh. We'll go ahead and throw them here and here. And then the Gryphon... I have an extra Gryphon? Oh, I summoned the Gryphon from my hand. I was like, wait, why am I summoning an extra Gryphon? Well, I didn't mean to do that. Let's just pretend this isn't on the field. In any case here, I'll use the Cerberus effect to turn my Kepler into a level 4 monster. Now, as I mentioned, like I wanted to do, I can go ahead and overlay the 2 of these in order to summon the Caesar. Now, I will immediately, on top of the Caesar, stack the Divine King, or not the Divine King, the Marksman King Tell. And I'll activate Tell's effect because there's kind of no reason not to. Just detach one of the materials, lower its own attack, and then you can deal some damage to your opponent. Not vital to the combo, but again, no reason not to. Because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to summon my second Gilgamesh using Tell and my first Gilgamesh. This combo is one of the more resource-intensive ones. We're going to use, I think, 10 of the 15 cards in our extra deck in order to do this combo, so do keep that in mind, that this is a very resource-intensive combo, but it's still a very good one. So, in any case, with the Tell effect, because it got sent to the graveyard, we can send a DD monster from our deck to the grave. We'll send DD Necro Slime. We're going to go ahead and activate the effect of our Necro Slime, banishing itself, and do a Gilgamesh here in order to make the Flame King Genghis. Go ahead and throw that right there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and summon Machinex on top of Gilgamesh. And because I special summoned a DD monster, that's going to trigger my Genghis' effect. That will enable me to special summon the Wave King Caesar from my graveyard. I want to get the Wave King Caesar back because I want its effect that will allow me to search a Dark Contract. I'm going to do that by sending it from the field to the graveyard by using our third Gilgamesh. As you can see, we're playing 3 Gilgamesh, and this combo uses all 3 of them. It's also going to use both of our Machinex too, by the way. Yeah, so by sending the Caesar to the graveyard, that way we're able to get the effect off and add the Swamp King from our deck to our hand. We can go ahead and activate Dark Contract with the Swamp King. I'll use the effect to banish 2 of the monsters in my graveyard in order to summon the second Genghis. I'll banish the Caesar and the Gilgamesh. Alright, we'll summon the other Caesar over there. Now we can overlay these two level 6 Caesars in order to summon our wave, these two Genghises in order to summon the Wave High King Caesar, the rank 6 here. And then, once again, we will stack a Machinex on top of the Gilgamesh here. So, yeah, I didn't end up needing this extra Gryphon that we accidentally summoned, but there you go. There is the one-card combo with the Savant Kepler. Again, ignoring the Gryphon, it ends you with the Wave High King Caesar, the Machinex with actually 2 Dark Contracts to use with its effect. Although I would pop the Swamp King first to attach a monster, and then I'd probably try to leave the gate on field if possible for the follow-up turn, just to be able to have a lot of plays there. This also leaves you with a scale of 0 to 6, which is definitely not bad off this deck. Doesn't leave you with anything in the extra deck, by the way, and again, it will only leave you with these 5 cards in the extra deck, so you do have to be mindful of that, but there you go. That is the one-card combo with Kepler there. Let's take a look at the next combo here. Alright, so here I'm going to go ahead and show you our other one-card combo here. The last one, of course, being DD Savant Kepler. This time, I'm going to show you what happens if you open with Dark Contract with the Gate. What all you can start with just opening this. Now, here with this particular opening hand, again, if you're in an actual game, I advise actually making some amount of fusions first. Like, you can make a Genghis and then follow it up with like a high Genghis here with the Swirl Slime plus Vice Typhon. That'll give you some extra protection here against like Imperm, but again, for the sake of the combo guide, we'll just go ahead and assume that you only opened with Dark Contract with the Gate here. So we'll go ahead, apparently. We'll activate that and use that to grab the Copernicus from our deck. Add that. Then we will normal summon the Copernicus over here. Use the effect to send a DD Lamia from our deck to the graveyard. I will then activate the DD Lamia effect. We can send this Dark Contract with the Gate to the graveyard in order to special summon the Lamia back. Now we have 2 DD monsters, so we can go ahead and link into the Gilgamesh here. Now, just like last time, I'm going to want to ultimately go for a Caesar here, but I've only got 1 monster in my extra deck, so, you know, it's not a matter of, you know, adjusting a monster's level. I need to get another level 4 monster on the board. So we're going to set up a scale with Gilgamesh that allows us to do that, as well as pendulum summon back our Copernicus. For the scale, I'm going to set DD Gryphon in 1 scale, and then Savant Thomas in the other. We'll go boom and boom. Now I'm going to pendulum summon this Copernicus back. Not going to summon the Swirl Slime from hand. Throw the Copernicus right over there. From there, I'm going to activate our DD Gryphon's ability, destroying it to boost the attack of Gilgamesh by 500 points. Don't actually care about Gilgamesh's attack, just wanted the Gryphon in the extra deck, because now I can use our Savant Thomas's effect to return that Gryphon from the extra deck to our hand. Gryphon, as we can remember from the last combo, can be special summoned from the hand if I control a DD monster. Now I've got 2 level 4 monsters, and I can summon my Wave King Caesar. From here, it's going to be fairly similar to the setup we had last time. Now that I've got Caesar on the board, I can go ahead and seize onto into Tell with the Caesar. I'll activate Tell's effect to get some damage in, because there's no reason not to. Now we link into our second Gilgamesh using the Tell. Throw that right over there. And now we use Tell's effect. We're once again going to send the Necro Slime. From here, the rest of the combo does play out fairly similarly. Now we're going to use Necro Slime's effect. Summoning a Genghis, we'll banish it, and the Gilgamesh here. You can throw the Genghis right there. Now we'll overlay a Machinex on top of one of these Gilgameshes. That will trigger the Genghis's effect. And then we can summon the Caesar back. From there, we make our third Gilgamesh using Caesar and Machinex. Again, this is all the same stuff we did in the last combo at this point. That will trigger the Caesar effect, which will allow us to add the Swamp King to our hand. Activate that, and then use the effect in order to banish 2 of our monsters. To summon the Genghis, I'll banish the Gilgamesh and the Caesar. And plop that down right there. And now that we have 2 level 6 monsters, we can overlay them into the High King Caesar. I feel like I've been calling Genghis Caesar half the time. There's so many different kings or whatever, I don't know, I just get them all mixed up. And then finally we'll end on another Machinex in this zone right over here. So boom, there you go. The exact same setup we had last time with the High King Caesar and the Deviser King Deus Machinex. We have a Dark Contract to send with its effect. Only one pendulum scale with Thomas this time, but Thomas is a pretty good pendulum scale, and it's usually not hard to find another pendulum scale on the next turn there. So there is your other one card DD combo. That one is going to be with the Dark Contract with the Gate. So now that we've established some one card combos, let's go ahead and see what we can do with opening multiple cards. Alright, so we have a 2-card combo to show off here. I'm going to show you what you can do if, in addition to DD Savant Kepler, we've also got a DD Swirl Slime to throw in there. So we're going to start this combo off by normal summoning our Kepler and activating the effect to add a Dark Contract from deck to hand. Just like last time, we're going to add the Dark Contract with the Gate. And just like last time, after we activate the Gate and then use the effect, we're going to use to search the DD Gryphon. Or is it right here? Alright, now I will activate the effect of DD Gryphon to throw that down right here. And then we're going to link summon into our Gilgamesh once again. Same so far, although things are going to get a bit varied here. From here I'll activate the Gilgamesh effect, but rather than the same scale that we set up last time, this time I'm going to go ahead and set a DD Gryphon from deck as well as a DD Savant Thomas. We'll go and throw that here and here. Now I will Pendulum Summon this DD Gryphon. No need to Pendulum Summon the Swirl Slime. Definitely want to keep that in hand for the fusion effect. Throw the Gryphon out right here. And I don't believe... No, we don't activate the Gryphon effect. This thing has a million effects, so every time it asks me to activate one, I'm like, wait, which effect does it ask me to activate? That one, since we Pendulum Summoned it, it wanted to see if we want to discard the Swirl Slime to draw a card. No, we definitely do not want to do that. I'm going to activate my Pendulum Scale Gryphon's effect to boost the attack of my Gilgamesh by popping it. Now I can use Thomas's effect to return the Gryphon to my hand. And now that I have another DD monster in my hand, I can activate the effect of the Swirl Slime to fuse it with the Gryphon in my hand in order to summon the Genghis. Alright, now that I have Genghis on the board, I can use this Gilgamesh to summon my first Machinex. I'll go ahead and throw that right there. And then now with Genghis's effect, I can actually special summon the Gryphon that's in my graveyard. And this will allow me to activate Gryphon's best effect. If you manage to summon Gryphon back from the graveyard, you get to add any DD card from your deck to your hand. So that's really nice. And we're going to use this to add not a monster, but actually our trap card, DDD Headhunt. This effect allows us to negate monsters and take control of them. So very, very nice, very powerful tool to have. Definitely going to be adding that here. Alright, so now we can go ahead and overlay our Gryphons into the Caesar here. Alright, from here we can go ahead and use the Caesar and Machinex in order to make Gilgamesh. You can probably see what we're doing here already, actually, if you are familiar with the one-card combos that we did. You can see now we're at a stage here where we're activating Caesar's effect, and we've already got a Genghis on board, so we're just going to add the Swamp King. From there, we'll activate Dark Contract with the Swamp King and use the effect to summon our other Genghis. We'll just fuse the Gilgamesh and the Caesar. That's fine. Alright, so from there, we'll go ahead and throw down the High King Caesar right over there. And then on top of the Gilgamesh, we will stack our other Deus Machinex. So in addition to summoning these two, we have also set up our DDD Headhunt as well. So that's what the DD Swirl Slime, in addition to the Kepler, basically with this combo will get you an additional DDD Headhunt. You might have also noticed that we still have a Gilgamesh left over in the extra deck, as with this combo, we didn't need it. That's actually kind of going to be kind of a bit of a recurring trend with the DDD combos here. the more resources you use from hand, the more you can actually save in the extra deck. And it's actually kind of fairly important to know what all you can do with the resource you have in hand for that reason. Obviously, as you saw, the 1-card combos, like I brought up, drain 10 cards out of our extra deck, which is a lot. So if we can save those for potential follow-up plays when possible, that's definitely nice to be able to do that. So I'm going to show you some more 2+ card combos that'll show you how to save on those resources and do some different lines here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Okay, so we have our next 2-card combo here. We opened DD Savant Copernicus as well as a DD Gryphon. So this allows us to get quite a few extra things in addition to the High King Caesar and Deus Machinex as we've been seeing before. So I'm going to start by normal summoning my DD Savant Copernicus here and activating the effect. I will be sending a Necro Slime from the deck to the graveyard. Now I can special summon this DD Gryphon here, and I will link them off for Gilgamesh. Alright, from here I'm going to set a different scale than I've been setting before. Again, this is I think what trips a lot of people up when learning these combos, is that it's never setting the same scale with Gilgamesh. It sometimes very occasionally is, but very rarely do any of these combo lines share the same scale you set with Gilgamesh there. So for this one, we're going to set DD Orthos and Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. Throw those down here and here. 3 and 5 allow us to pendulum summon exactly 4. We're going to do just that, summoning the Gryphon and Copernicus. I will not be summoning this Copernicus in hand. Just for the sake of the combo, we'll assume we don't have it in hand there. So we'll throw those down there. We actually don't want to activate either of these effects. Well, the Gryphon effect, sure, you can activate if you want to. It's not necessary at all. The Ragnarok effect, you will have the option to activate here, but you don't want to activate it just yet. So we're going to say no to that. Now we're going to use Copernicus and Gryphon to make, if we can click on it here, to make Caesar. Throw the Caesar right over there. And again, we're not going to activate that just yet. We'll throw Tell on top of Caesar. And just like we've done in the past, we'll go ahead and use Tell's effect just to get the burn damage in, because again, there is no reason not to. Alright, now things are going to be a little bit different here. So I'm going to actually activate Orthos' effect at this point. I'm going to destroy Tell and itself. Now I will use my Marksman Tell's effect. Oops, sorry. And I will send Patent License from the deck to the graveyard. This will allow me to activate the effect of my Patent License, and I'm going to return the Orthos from my extra deck to my hand. Now at this point we're going to go ahead and use the effect of that Necro Slime in our graveyard. Summoning a Genghis, I'll fuse it with, we can just use Copernicus here, that's fine. Summon the Genghis like so. Alright, now I'm going to activate my Ragnarok's effect to summon the Caesar back from my graveyard. And the reason I waited was not only just to summon Caesar back, but also because I take 1,000 damage from this effect, I get to summon the Orthos from my hand as well. And then of course I'm also going to use Genghis in order to special summon the Gryphon back. And then, yep, the Orthos with its own effect. Note that you can only summon Fiends for the rest of the turn if you use Orthos' effect, which is fine for this combo and for most plays. It mostly just means you won't be able to summon Baron. I think Baron is actually like pretty much the only thing that it cuts you off from. Yeah, so from here we get to activate the effect of our Gryphon once again, and once again we're going to be adding the DDD Headhunt from our deck to our hand. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and link summon another Gilgamesh. We're going to use this Caesar and this Gilgamesh in order to do so. And as always as ever, we're going to activate the Caesar effect in order to grab the Swamp King. And then, let's see, we're going to go ahead and activate the Swamp King. And let's see, do I have... Yeah, I'll just fuse the Gilgamesh and the Caesar in my graveyard, that's fine. To summon the other Genghis. Yeah, we'll just go boom and boom. Throw this out here. And so now we get the High King Caesar, as we always do. This time, though, we also get our Siegfried, which can negate spell or trap cards during either player's turn. And like other effects, like, the Red Hot Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and the, what is the added Nister card? The one that banishes from graveyard, the Dan Mari. This can negate a spell or trap card. I believe it can negate a spell or a trap card as it's resolving. So it's pretty much just another negate on top of all the other ones here. This one for specifically a spell or a trap card. And then we will go ahead and throw out the Machinex as well. Oops, right over here. And then we get to set the DDD Headhunt as well. So this combo line, you can see, actually does leave that other Machinex in our extra deck there. And on top of that, we get to have our extra Gilgamesh. So as you can see, again, throwing more resources leaves us with more extra deck cards. And of course, this time it also got us a Siegfried on our opening board, in addition to the Headhunt, which was in addition to the Caesar and Machinex, which we're used to opening with. So yeah, that's what you can get with Copernicus plus Gryphon. So yeah, let's go ahead and show the next combo off here. Okay, so I got another 2-card combo to show off here. Actually, if you open Copernicus plus any level 4 monster, that is a play. It doesn't have to be Gryphon. It's not quite as extensive as the play we saw with Gryphon, but it is still a play. So I will go ahead and show you how we do that. I'm going to go ahead and start by summoning the Copernicus here, activating the effect. This time, we are going to be sending a Swirl Slime from the deck to the graveyard. We're going to use Swirl Slime's graveyard effect to banish it and special summon a DD monster from our hand. We'll special summon our level 4 DD monster. In this case, it's going to be DD Cerberus. So from here, we're going to go ahead and link summon our Gilgamesh. Throw that right there. And because we have 2 level 4 monsters in the extra deck, we can use Gilgamesh to once again set up Orthos plus the Ragnarok. Alright, now we will use these to pendulum summon our 2 monsters. Like so. Now we can use, let's see here. Yep, Caesar. Throw that right over there. And then we will use Tell and throw that on top of Caesar. Alright, we'll get the Tell burn effect off, detaching the Caesar, targeting itself, because we're going to end up using it. Well, we're not going to use it as a material. We're going to pop it with Orthos, just like we did in that other combo there. The last combo that we showed. Alright, now we will use Tell's effect to send Patent License. There it is. And then we get to use the Patent License effect in order to bring the Orthos back to our hand. Alright, so this time we don't have a Necro Slime set up in our graveyard, but that's not a problem. We can just set up a Machinex. Oops, like if I can hit the select button. We'll set up a Machinex, and that will trigger our Ragnarok's effect, which will also trigger our Orthos here. So we will special summon. I don't think it matters which of these we summon. Oh, actually, we wouldn't be summoning Caesar, not a level 4. That's right. We could actually... Well, no, because we need a contract on the board. I was trying to remember why we needed to summon... Because we're going to end up ending with a Siegfried and a Machinex. And I was like, well, can't I just summon a level 4 and go for a Machinex? But that actually doesn't leave us with a Dark Contract, so we do actually need to do it this way. Alright, so now we link summon to Gilgamesh using Caesar and Machinex. Now, Caesar's effect will allow us to search a Dark Contract. Dark Contract with the gate, which we did open with, but again, we're just going to assume that we didn't. Now we can activate our Dark Contract with the gates effect in order to search a DDD Gryphon, or a DD Gryphon, rather. Throw that right there. Now we can special summon our Siegfried using Orthos and Gryphon. Just throw that right over here. And then finally, we will summon our other Machinex using this Gilgamesh here. So yeah, not quite as impressive as an inboard as the last one, that's for sure. This one does not summon Caesar in addition to the Siegfrieds there, but it does still leave the fusions in your extra deck for a potential follow-up play. And Siegfried plus Machinex is still a very solid inboard in and of itself. Again, allows you to negate a spell or a trap card, and will also allow you to, as always with these end boards, use Machinex to absorb your opponent's monsters as materials. So there is that combo there. Again, that was Copernicus plus any level 4 monster. But again, if that level 4 monster is Gryphon, you can do the last combo, which is to say much better. Okay, so you might have noticed here in this extra deck, we're actually playing Baronne de Fleur. And you might be thinking to yourself, can this deck summon Baronne on turn 1? It can, actually. It does require you opening 3 cards, but you can summon Baronne on turn 1 here. One of the ways to do that is with DD Gryphon plus Swirl Slime plus any DD monster. And if I recall correctly, this combo actually doesn't use Dark Contract with a gate in it, so you can actually use this to set part of this combo up here. So because I have Gryphon and Cerberus, I'm going to use this gate in order to add the Swirl Slime, and then we can go ahead and get this combo started. Alright, I'm going to start by activating the effect of the Swirl Slime in hand and fuse for a Genghis. I'll fuse the Swirl Slime with the Gryphon here. Throw down that Genghis. Now I can use the Swirl Slime's effect in order to special summon the other DD monster from my hand, in this case Cerberus. Toss that right there. That's going to allow us to activate the Genghis' effect, and then Genghis will allow us to special summon Gryphon. Gryphon, as you remember, when special summoned from the graveyard, lets us add any DD monster. I'm going to go ahead and grab the DD Orthos. Nice thing about this combo is you get to summon Baronne nice and early. I'm just going to go ahead and normal summon the Orthos, and then special summon Baronne de Fleur from there. Throw Baronne in this zone right over here. And now that we have some Baronne protection out, let's go ahead and make a Gilgamesh using our Cerberus and Gryphon. And I will activate the Gilgamesh's effect. Let's see, for my scale, let me think here. It doesn't super matter. I mean, I want the Ragnarok, but I don't necessarily need the Orthos. I'll just throw a Gryphon down in the scale. Just throw that there and there. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and perform our Pendulum Summon. I'm going to bring back Orthos and Gryphon. Here and here, I don't want to use Gryphon's effect because I definitely do not want to be discarding this DDD Headhunt. It's very, very powerful. I will activate the Ragnarok effect, however, because I'm going to get this Genghis back. Put this right over here. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Wave King Caesar. Throw this in this zone right over there. I actually don't want to overlay with Tell. I know that normally we do that, but I actually don't want to do that here. I'm going to go straight into Gilgamesh using Caesar and Gilgamesh. Now I will use Caesar's effect in order to add the contract with the Swamp King. And we'll get the Swamp King's effect. Summon our other Genghis. You can probably see where we're going with this here. Based on all the other combo lines, we'll banish those two from our graveyard. Drop this Genghis right here. And then, let's see, I'll slap the Machinex on top of the Gilgamesh. And then finally we will wrap it up by making the High King Caesar. And throwing that right there. So there's a 3-card combo right there. That is an example of how you can end with Baronne. Like I said, DD Gryphon plus Swirl Slime plus any DD monster will let you do that. Except Orthos. I will say that if you summon Orthos, because if you summon Orthos with Genghis at the beginning of the combo, you can only summon Fiends for the rest of the turn, so you can't summon Baronne. I mentioned that earlier in another combo. You have to be mindful of Orthos' effect locking you into Fiends, but that's a relatively easy way to get a Baronne out on turn 1, in addition to your regular setup there. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the combos I wanted to show. There are many more different plays you can do in this deck. But those are a lot of the core combos I wanted to show to get you familiar with how this deck combos. So now that we've seen those, let's just go ahead and move now to the outro. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching all the way to the very end like this. I hope those of you who are maybe interested in trying this deck out find it, the combos here rather, helpful. Again, I wanted to show as many of the core combos as possible. Definitely the 1 and 2 card combos. I think those are the most important to know. But I also want to show again just an example of how you can end with a Baron on turn 1. One of many. Like I mentioned at the end of that last play there, you know, there are a lot of different plays you can make with this deck. And while what I showed you are a lot of the more like standard ones, once you get familiar with those combo lines and really practice them, or, you know, practice them through play, then you'll start to get a lot more comfortable making, you know, plays quote unquote on your own. Because once you realize like, oh, I could do this standard combo, but if I throw this, you know, I open a Gryphon, so I can skip, you know, such and such steps, or I could throw like an Orthos in at this point and make a Siegfried in addition to what I could normally make. Again, it's not difficult to tell a lot of the time, once you get familiar with the standard combos, how to deviate from there and, yeah, just branch out and play more efficiently, which I'm definitely still learning to do. I definitely don't proclaim to be an expert in this deck, but I wanted to share what I had learned on to all of you who are interested in playing as well. So that's about all the time that I've got for this one. So without further ado, this is XLex. I'm signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.